The New York Jets have ruined yet another quarterback career, but for this guy, I think he kind of brought most of it on himself too.
I can't say anymore. I'm probably already in trouble for mentioning it to well, we call you normies.
So Aaron Rodgers, he was with Green Bay for years. He won a Super Bowl with them. To be fair, he went through a number of coaches and different players and things of that nature, right? And, well, his time was up. He was on the downside of his career in Green Bay. He ended up making it to the Jets. And, the Jets pretty much bought the house for him, right? And so we thought that he was going to be a game changer for this franchise, all right? Aaron Rodgers, most players, when they're picked up by another team, is usually based off potential from where they were before, unless they come out the draft, which is still potential from their college career, right? And so even though he was on the downside of his career in Green Bay, we thought that maybe he would bring some of that, fire, that flavor to the Jets, right? Some of that, impromptu playmaking, some of his long range, throws and all that kind of stuff. We thought that he would be a good playmaker in New York. But sadly, what happens in New York usually it doesn't work. Okay, it usually never works. I haven't seen a quarterback yet that has had success in New York. All right, and the last good seasons was when Mark Sanchez was there. You know what I mean? And then the butt fumble happened, and that just plunged them into mediocrity for years to come. Right. And so they only had one good coach, in my opinion. That was the guy that's on ESPN. I forgot his name off the top of my head. But he was probably one of the best coaches they ever had. And so, yeah, he's with the Jets now. And like you saw on the thumbnail, it started out great, right? He came in with the American flag for the first game of the season. We thought it was going to be great, right? Then he has an injury. He's out for the whole season that year. He comes back next season, and they thought that maybe he'd be fully rehabilitated and we could still get some of that skill on the field. Well, that did not happen. He got his coach fired, and so the rest of the season was on his back. And that went terrible. Okay, so before the Super Bowl, before we get into this article, we saw reports off of Twitter. Okay, this is via Ian Rappaport. This from Jay Glazer says, appears to be the direction is heading makes sense with a new regime. A new direction at QB. Now, he was responding to Jay Glazer. This was his quote. It says here, a big scoopage. Aaron Rodgers flew back to New Jersey last week to meet with the Jets about his future with the team, only to be told that the team was moving on from him. If that means that he will be a June 1st designation that allows him to sign with any team in the league on March 12th if he decides to continue to play. Given that Aaron Rodgers made the effort to fly back to discuss his future, all signs point to him continuing to play. It just won't be for the Jets.
Jay! You think you can do this to me? Enemy spotted.
Well, okay. So, as we continue with the Jets and QB Aaron Rodgers headed for a split, sources say don't be surprised if they move on from Devontae Adams with his huge cap number 2. They could reunite elsewhere. So they brought in Devontae Adams, I believe, this past season to join with Aaron Rodgers, thinking that they would be a good duo together. Again, that did not work. Okay, now we scroll some more. Devontae Adams left his 2025 contract unchanged and his $38.3 million salary cap. Wait a minute. 38.3 million cap number is untenable. He'd have to agree to a new deal to stay, and with Aaron Rodgers moving on, Adams likely will as well. Adam would like to be on the West Coast, I am told. All right. And then they leave an article here talking about the split, but we're going to get into the ESPN article, as you can see here. Now, sources Aaron Rodgers unlikely to return to the Jets in 2025. Let's read. For just $5 a month, please consider becoming a member of Welcome to Normieville. There you will find access to members-only videos and members-only live streams, as well as a host of other perks. Thank you for your consideration. Back to the video. Florham Park, New Jersey. The New York Jets' Aaron Rodgers marriage appears to be ending after 2 disappointing seasons. as the future Hall of Fame quarterback is unlikely to remain with the team in 2025, sources told ESPN Adam Schefter on Sunday. Rodgers, 41, flew to New Jersey last week to meet with new head coach Aaron Glenn and new general manager Darren Mogi. A source confirmed to ESPN. Fox Sports reported Sunday that Rodgers was informed in the meeting that the team has decided to part ways with him. A Jets spokesperson declined to confirm the report. Now, again, I don't blame him. I don't blame the Jets for moving on from him. I mean, we thought it was going to be good. We threw a lot of money at you. You was on a 2-year contract. We really only got a good year out of you, and it was mediocre. And really all you did was get the coach fired, and you kept going your BFF show, doggone Pat McAfee, throwing people on the bus and talking crap about everybody every week, right? So, I mean, I believe that Aaron Rodgers is on the backside of his quarterbacking career. Does he still have some left in the tank? Absolutely, I think. But he's going to have to do something different. He's got to be more humble in the media as well, because right now I think he's still very arrogant, like he just won a Super Bowl, and that's not true. Because remember in the one press conference, he was like, well, if they don't know what I'm trying to do, then I must not be for them or something. He said it was very arrogant in my opinion, but it is what it is. Glenn has been in contact with Rodgers since he was hired as part of an evolving discussion on the quarterback's future. Glenn, at his introductory news conference on January 27th, was non-committal on Rodgers. The coach said he wanted to meet with the veteran before choosing a direction at quarterback. Of course, we got a new coach in. He wants his own players, his own staff. Rodgers came in on a different coach. And to be honest with you, with Aaron Rodgers' attitude, I think they're not going to keep him. And well, as the report says, they're going to move on from him. A formal announcement is likely to come in the coming days. Now, mind you, this article is February 9th. It's now the 11th, so I'm sure a formal announcement will be coming any day now. All right? Rodgers said at the end of the season that he understood the circumstances that the Jets with a new regime might want to start fresh at quarterback. Either way, I won't be upset or offended whatever they decide to do, he said, because he doesn't really care anyway. Rodgers accounted for 18 starts, 6 victories, 1 highly publicized Achilles tear, and countless headlines in his 2 years with the Jets. It is unclear whether he will continue his career, as he has maintained that he's undecided on a 21st season. The future Hall of Famer has 1 year remaining on his contract, non-guaranteed, $37.5 million. He was due to count $23.5 million on the cap. Now, before we get to that, let me go to the stats here, because Jay Glazer, somebody under his post gave the guy stats. 3,897 passing yards, 28 passing yards, 11 interceptions, 23% completion. All right. So, in my opinion, I mean, they're decent, but I mean, we can get another quarterback to bring those same kind of stats, I believe. Okay. The Jets will be left with $49 million in deed money, which can be spread over 2 years if he's designated a post-June 11th cut. In that case, they would have to carry his $23.5 million on the cap until June 1st. At that point, he count $14 million in 2025, a net savings of $9.5 million. I think that's great. However, in the June 1st scenario, there would be a $35 million charge in 2026. Well, they got to pay the rest of his money, okay? Determined to end their first 5-decade Super Bowl drought, the Jets made the biggest trade in franchise history. In April 24th of 2023, acquiring the 4-time MVP from the Green Bay Packers for a package of draft picks. Now, in my opinion, this can go down as one of the worst trades outside of Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, okay? Because this guy got 2 years, you really only got, like, again, a mediocre year. And I think it was just, bad. Let me go down here where they talk about Davante Adams, and then we will get out of here, y'all. Let's see here. If they're talking about it, maybe they're not. But you already saw it in the quote in the tweet anyway. So he's backed up by Tyrod Taylor, I believe. So over here, Rodgers' imminent departure also means they could release wide receiver Davante Adams, who will have to renegotiate his prohibitive cap charge to stay on the roster. Adams said that after the season that his decision would be influenced by whether Rodgers stays or goes. Well, hey, I think, they got Tyrod Taylor as a backup, so I don't know if they'll stay with him till they get somebody of higher caliber. I don't know. But in any case, 2 guys are going to be leaving. They're going to save some money, and maybe they can get somebody else because they've gave away some good draft picks. So they're going to need that money to get somebody else that they can carry them through next season and at least give them a winning record or above 500 at least, because their season this year was terrible. Okay? So, in my opinion, it's a good thing Rodgers leaves. I hope he goes to another franchise that maybe he can do better with, that maybe have a better system, a quarterback that he can work with, or he can bully, whatever, you know what I mean? And yeah, I wish him the best. Okay? So, with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of Normieville. You know me, I'm Justin Normie, here to bring you the latest and greatest in sports and entertainment. Let me know what you think about Aaron Rodgers moving on from the terrible New York Jets franchise, which will probably claim another career next season, down in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell on the way out of the door. And I will see you on the next video.